On this video, I want to talk about taking care of yourself, otherwise known as self-care, but really taking care of yourself. Not just one of those things, oh yeah, you need to look at self-care. Really taking care of yourself. And there are different levels of taking care of yourself. And we are going to dive into some of those today. I'm Lucy. I'm an aligned peak performance coach and speaker. The reason this subject has come up is because some of the people in my world, some of the people that I love and care about, have had instances with their health recently. And they're unexpected and they're sudden and it's heartbreaking, literally heartbreaking. And so speaking to this is really important because we can be taking care of some parts of our health. And I know that some of those people were really taking care of some parts of their health. So you might look at the different parts. And I would say, let's look at 4 different parts of your health and ask yourself also, are you worthy of the self-care that you're going to give yourself? Are you worthy of taking a look at this? Because if you're going, oh, that's not important, I need to get back to work, then maybe there's a worthiness issue there. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and if you're feeling like you are drowning in stress and you're feeling like there's this weight of the world on your shoulders and you just can't drag yourself out of bed in the mornings, it's so tricky to drag yourself around, then self-care might just be the thing in one of these areas at least that you really do need to take a look at and to do something about. So the very first one, I'm an ex-dancer. So the very first one for me has to be fitness. Staying fit for health. Working out might be yoga, it might be swimming, it might be golf, it might be walking, it could be running, it might be a martial art, it can be anything that you enjoy. Something that you go, yeah, I'd do that. It might be dancing. I would definitely do that. I work out locally on the village green every single week and I go cycling. I never thought I would go cycling. That wasn't part of my plan. But one January, about maybe 4 years ago now, I started cycling twice a week. And for almost every single week, apart from sometimes when I was abroad and I couldn't make it happen, I cycled twice a week, every single week. So that became part of my routine because when you're getting into a new habit, it takes approximately 66 days. And I just never dropped the habit because I actually started really enjoying it. And even if it was a bit drizzly and raining or a bit snowy, it was so enjoyable just being out there and the freedom of just cycling along the country lanes. It was gorgeous and still is really gorgeous. And so that would be the first place I would land is your fitness. The second place is your nutrition, what you're putting into your body. So yes, the foods, but is the food that you're eating, even if it's fruit and vegetables, how fresh are they? If they're not all that fresh and they've been sitting in a warehouse, then do you know what the nutritional value is of that apple, of that banana, of the asparagus, whatever it is that you're eating and putting in your body? There should be some really fabulous nutrients in those foods. But sometimes I know I cut an apple open and it's going off inside. And I only bought it a couple of days ago at the local superstore. So nutritionally, make sure you're taking in the supplements, making sure that you're getting the right amount of protein every day, the right amount of water every day, because hydration is also so important for your body. And then you're also looking at the macronutrients and the micronutrients. So you can study that if you're, I'm not going to go deep into that, but I do want to just pull that out as one of those things that perhaps you think you're eating healthily, but actually you're not getting all the nutrition that you need. So that's that one. And if you're not getting that nutrition, and even when sometimes you think you are, but you're very, very stressed because of something like overworking, overtime, pressure at work, pressure of family around you, whatever those things are that are stressing you, those stressors will deplete your vitamin and mineral supply. So having those extra vitamin and minerals are really going to support your body through the stress, whatever that stress might be. Then we have mental health. And mental health is going to be very personal. Mental health might be you need to not talk to somebody. Mental health might be you need to change your job because it's a very toxic environment. And if you're there 5 days a week, maybe even 6 days a week, and your mental health is getting worse and worse, you'll probably find that your physical health is getting worse and worse, especially if you're not talking about it to anybody, especially if you're not addressing that. It's going to show up somewhere in your body. And again, I've seen this so many times with friends, with family members, with acquaintances. They're going through a stress. And I would say a lot of the times it's men, just thinking about that, hanging on to this, not speaking about this, and it shows up in dis-ease in the body. It's amazing. The body will hang on to it and it will come out in some form of dis-ease. So sorting out that mental health, again, getting some help with that, whether it's some therapy, whether you're just talking to a friend about it, whether you get someone to facilitate you with coaching to help you to see that and to get through that, find something that's going to help you with your mental health. And kind of alongside the mental health line is your emotional health. So if you're not tapping into your emotions, if you're ignoring your emotions, and some people are fantastic, right? I mean, I have had a gorgeous uncle who would never get wound up about anything. And I'd think, how does he do that? He never gets wound up. He is so placid, so calm. It's just amazing. Does he ever let it out? I'd wondered that. I never asked, but he never seemed to let any anger or disappointment out. And yet, towards the end of his life, he was troubled with so many illnesses. It really was heartbreaking. That's the heartbreaking part I was talking about at the beginning. And so taking care of your emotional health, again, whether that's talking to somebody away and outside from the family or away and outside from work, you don't need to be burdening somebody else with it, but you need to unburden yourself. And when it's spoken to somebody who isn't in your ecosystem and it's somebody who's a stranger, they're not going to take it on because it's not personal to them. And they know how to be able to put a block around them, but to really listen and to hear you. So that emotional state that you're in can be changed. So those are the 4 areas, because if you are overwhelmed, if you're stressed, if you're feeling heavy, if you're not allowing yourself to be as fit and healthy as you know you could be, because maybe you just don't think, who cares? Nobody cares. Then you're not doing it for you. You must be doing it for yourself. It's so important to keep fit and healthy for yourself. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Taking care of yourself for you. Even in a partnership, you take care of yourself. It's not the other person's job to take care of you. You take care of yourself for you first, and because you want to be the best for the people around you. They take care of themselves, for themselves, and for the people around them. That's secondary. There'll be another video coming up on screen, so I'm going to see you over there. And in the meantime, have the most awesome day. Take care. Bye for now.